Assalamualaikum and greetings to Sir Muhammad Rahezal Shah bin Abdul Karim and also to all my fellow classmates. Today, my partner and I will be present about one subtopic under workplace attitude, which is workplace emotion. Before we start, let me introduce our name. My name is SITI HAFIZAH binti SUHANIA SYAQIRAH and my partner is SYAQIRAH binti MANSOR. In general, emotion can be explained as psychological, behavioral, and psychological episode experienced toward an object, person, or event that create a state of readiness. Specifically, emotion can be understood as brief events or episodes that subside within a few minutes. The emotion will be direct towards someone and something such as tasks, customers, leaders, or friends. Emotion also are experiences that will change in a person's psychological conditions like rising in blood pressure, heart rate, perspiration, or change in facial experience. And emotions put people in a state of readiness, which is anger, surprise, and fear, where they will demand our attention and generate motivation to take action. To determine the positive and negative emotion, it can be looked on four aspects in cycle, which are thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and actions. Types of emotion. Under types of emotion, it was listed 5 types, which is generate a global evaluation that something is good or bad, helpful or harmful, and to be approached or to be avoided. Next, it will generate some level of energy or motivational force within us, where emotion produce alertness and motivation to act. Thirdly, range of positive and negative emotions. Fourthly, happy, enthusiastic, stimulated, stressful, unhappy, and bored. Lastly, emotions can lead to stress and counterproductive behavior towards someone. Types of emotion can be described through the evaluation of negative and positive, also activation of low and high. According to the diagram, the high activation negative emotions will be led to stress. However, high activation positive emotions will be led to excited. In contrast, low activation negative emotions will causing tired, and low activation positive emotions will lead someone to be relaxed. Clearly, when you are in a bad situation, your emotions will be affected by the issue that you just faces, and it can cause a stress. For instance, you have received a termination letter from your company that told you will be terminated from work in certain time. This issue automatically gonna rise your negative emotions and lead to stress. The cognitive dissonance also one of the elements under workplace emotion. Cognitive dissonance can be described as a psychological tension that occurs when people perceive an inconsistency between their beliefs, feeling, and behavior, whereby emotions and attitudes usually lead to behavior, but the opposite sometimes occurs. For instance, a student take a subject that they're not even interested. It was because they heard that subjects are the most wanted in the future for work best. However, in the meantime, the students realize everyone can have work without pushing themselves in learning that subject. Thus, this inconsistency creates an uncomfortable tension that called cognitive dissonance. How do people reduce cognitive dissonance? Preach on there is 2 ways, which is changing behavior and changing beliefs and feeling. Changing behavior. Someone tried to fix their behavior through many ways. However, changing behavior is not that easy, and the consequences of the behavior cannot be undone even though you quit your job. Changing belief and feeling. Someone tried to change their thoughts about something from negative to positive thoughts and turn it to be a favorable one. Emotional dissonance. It was a conflict between a person's required and true emotions where the larger gap between required and true emotions, the more employees tend to experience stress, job burnout, and psychological separation from itself. What the best way to reduce emotional dissonance? It can be minimized by deep acting rather than surface acting. Deep acting involves changing true emotion to match the required emotions. For example, train yourself to actually feel the emotion you are supposed to express, while that surface acting involves in pretending or modify to show the required emotions, but continuing to hold different internal feelings. For instance, the employees are forced to smile while greeting a customer whom they considered as a rude customers. Thus, the best way in minimize the emotional dissonance is by hiring a worker that have tendency to display the emotions that required for the job.